Yo, so I was just talking to one of the homies about life, success, getting what you want, right? Which I feel like everybody, at least if you're tapped in on this channel, is trying to do more of, right? Trying to get more of what we want. And what we want is, yes, some materialistic things, some achievements, some external things, right? But a lot of times what we want is to feel better. We want happiness, we want joy, we want love, we want abundance. We want all these things, these internal states that we imagine, these things that we put on our vision boards and all these type of things that we seek externally will give us, right? Well, I think that one of the biggest traps or misconceptions or really just pitfalls that we can go through on this path towards success, getting more of what you want, is getting trapped in this idea of desire and anger, right? Because we place things on vision boards, and we listen to people in the self-improvement, become the best version of yourself, red pill community, whatever you want to call it. And these people often refer to getting the things that we desire. Make a vision board, make your dream lifestyle, write down your goals, write down the things that you want, right? And then they say, remember all the things that people that did you wrong in the past, or, a girlfriend that you want to prove wrong, or, friends that hated on you, or people that, doubted you, the person back in school. Remember these people and then go prove them wrong. And the best revenge is a massive success, right? So we were having this conversation, just talking about this idea of desire and anger and how it's so heavily pushed in the self-improvement community. But if you really look at like the consciousness chart, which most everyone again is really desiring at a deep fundamental level, is to raise this emotional state, raise how we feel on an everyday basis. And if you look at the levels of consciousness chart that was created by David Hawkins, you'll see that fear, desire, anger, pride, they're kind of all in this lower hemisphere, like lower group of emotions. And yes, a lot of times these emotions can propel us to go achieve materialistic things and materialistic desires, but a lot of times they don't leave us fully fulfilled. They don't leave us with that sense of joy and the sense of love and a sense of accomplishment. And they typically, at least from my own experience, they typically leave you with the experience of, well, is this all there is? Well, is there more to this? Yes, this is kind of great, but, if we can change this thing, yes, you might find the job, but there's some aspects that you don't like, so you're always trying to tweak it. Or, yes, you might get some money, but you always want more money. Yes, you might get the girl, but, there's some ways that she doesn't act that you would rather have her acting. So you're always looking for these differences. You're always looking to improve, and you never reach this full state of contentment, which, the reason why I feel a lot of these lower emotions may drive that type of behavior and lead us to those type of results is because, again, sometimes it is productive for us to get there. However, I don't think it truly gives us what we want. So in this video, I want to kind of break down the idea of maybe why we resort to these lower states of consciousness and resort to these emotions, and also maybe give us a method to where we can transcend some of these modes of consciousness to get us more of what we want and still be fired up, still be relentless, still be, energized and a warrior when it comes to attacking our goals. But maybe we can come from it from a more holistic power type of way of being, instead of a forceful way of being that, may not leave us with the best overall state at the end game, right? So, diving into this exactly, like, why do I think that we tend to resort to these lower states of consciousness, like desire and anger, to get us what we want? Well, it's why I believe we do pretty much everything that we do. I think that, as human beings, as spirits having a human experience, I don't believe that, we are our behavior. I don't believe that, you just came out the womb desiring things and wanting things and are angry about you not having things, and that's what's going to propel you to success. I think that, these are patterns that have been conditioned onto us by society, by our parents, by our friend group, by the influences that we watch online. And they tell us these things, they plant these ideas and belief systems in our head that make us think that this is the only way. And not only do we hear these beliefs and we hear these philosophies, but we use those beliefs, we use those philosophies, and then we start getting results. So typically what our body does and how it creates these patterns of behavior is they analyze, what has got us results in the past and how can we use that same type of strategy to get us results in the future. Meaning, let's say, there was a moment in your life where, someone broke your heart, and, you really love this person, and, you really saw a future with them, and, they broke your heart. Now that's got you in the gym, you're getting bigger, you're working on yourself, you're starting to make more money, and your life is improving. So you, quote unquote, are becoming more successful. You're making progress. You became happier through that process. You probably grew a lot through that process. So now, through using that desire and anger and emotion as a strategy to get what you want, your body has conditioned that pattern of habit, conditioned that pattern of behavior. So now when you're approached with a similar situation of, okay, now I have a new desire, now I have something else that I want, well, the body's gonna automatically put you in the pattern of, okay, in order to get that, we must put you in a state of anger, in a state of fear, in a state of shame, in a state of guilt, in these lower emotional states, in a state of desire. And then that state is what's gonna propel you to get that. But, when this happens, you go get the thing, and then you self-sabotage, and now you get back into a state where something else happens again. In this case, it might not be losing a dream girl, maybe losing a dream job, or losing a certain apartment, or losing a different type of relationship, or becoming unhealthy, and you start to self-sabotage. So you basically put yourself in a lower state of being in order to build yourself back up. And this concept is being addicted to the previous emotions that's got us success in the past. But usually what happens when we grow is we start to recognize that, hey, maybe these aren't the healthiest emotions that I want to feel on an everyday basis. Like, do I literally want to go through my life every single day desiring something I don't have and not being content with what I do have? Do I want to go through every day being angry at people in my past and letting them live rent-free in my head, and not being able to get what I want because I have these different experiences and, stuff that's been built up over and over again in my past? Like, do I really want to carry that with me every day and carry that burden? So you start to say no, but through that process, you feel like you may lose the drive a little bit. Well, if I don't have desire, if I don't have anger, if I don't have shame, if I don't have guilt, if I don't have the comeback story per se, then I won't be able to get what I want. But again, in this video, what I want to kind of highlight is maybe just this pattern in yourself. Like, first, I think all change starts with awareness, so becoming aware of this pattern. And, if you're resonating with this video, maybe it's something that you have done in the past. I think, again, a lot of content around self-improvement, becoming the best version of yourself, leveling up, it starts from this place of being low. And the reason I think we rely on these emotions is because, at one level, it did help us get what we want previously, right? At one level, when we were going through that hurt, when we were going through that heartbreak, when we were going through trials and tribulations of life, that anger, that desire for something better, that initial emotions got us out of that maybe low state of apathy. We're feeling like, what's even the point of living, right? And what's the point of being here? I've been there personally, right? It's just like, you don't really have a growth mindset in that place. You're thinking, well, this is just kind of how life is. This is how it's always going to be. And I don't like this, and there's no way out. So what's the point of even being here, right? You start to, have very negative thoughts, and these thoughts are very harmful to you and people around you. So, to get out of that state, you may start to seek answers, and you start to find content. You start to find mentors, and they say, well, hey, let's not beat yourself up over these experiences. Let's go prove those people wrong. The best success, again, is revenge is massive success. You start hearing these different things, right? So at one level of one state of consciousness, that did help us to get us out of that apathy, to get us out of that struggle when we didn't see a better path. But like I said, as we grow, as we experience new things, we start to realize, like, okay, maybe this isn't the healthiest emotions I should be feeling. So, how do we transcend these lower states of consciousness of desire, fear, anger, but still get what we want? Because, we don't want to lose the drive, lose the hunger, you lose the relentlessness, lose the warrior spirit in us that, really pushes us towards taking massive action and having a success. But we just want to do it in a more holistic way. We want to do it in a way to where we feel better and feel more fulfilled as we go through the journey and as we accomplish everything that our heart desires. So in my opinion, this, again, first starts with any breaking of a pattern is going to start with, becoming aware of the pattern that you're currently in. And then in order to break the pattern, you just literally break the pattern. So it's a pattern interrupt. So it's like, once you notice yourself going to the state of desire, oh, I really want something, or I'm angry because I don't have it, or I'm angry because of my past, or I'm angry because of the way my life is working out currently, or I'm angry at this person and therefore I'm gonna go do this. The moment you start to notice that, break that pattern, literally just say stop. It's not the way I wanna think. Actually, what's a better way I could be thinking right now? Well, I could be thinking from a space of the higher states of consciousness. So what are those higher states of consciousness? You have love, you have peace, you have joy, you have kindness. And what I notice that happens when you shift from this place of desire, fear, anger, I'm just really trying to get this thing and I'm gonna will it, I'm gonna make it happen. Not only does the process and journey become a lot smoother, but also you take the lens off of yourself and you take the mirror off of yourself and what you're going through and your life experiences, and you start to become more of a servant. You start to look at others and you start to look at others' life experiences, and you start to recognize, like, where can I go and serve into the world, and where can I go be an impact, where can I go be a help, where can I go give, as opposed to what can I get from the world. Because from that paradigm, only thing it's going to do is leave us uncontent and wanting more. But really what our spirit desires is this idea of constant growth and elevation within our own consciousness and feeling better more often than not. But also it desires to give that experience to others. What's the having everything in the world if you don't have anyone to share it with, or you don't have any connections that you could talk to about it? You could travel all the places, you could get all the Lambos, you could get all the money, you get all the $1 billion, you can get the big, huge mansion, but if you're in there alone and you only travel alone and nobody likes you because you never come from a place of love and inviting, and you come from a place of competition, I want to fight and I want to win and I want to destroy everything in my way, then this is where you get some of the most successful people in the world committing suicide. Robin Williams, comedian, had everything. People loved him, people enjoyed him, made people laugh, made a ton of movies, made movies in different genre, respected by his peers, had the family, had the success, had the money, seemed happy on the external, hung himself. How do you explain that? Well, he was never happy with himself. And, not to get off topic, but to bring home the point that in order to get what we want materialistically and have the joy and happiness and fulfillment that we want to experience in this lifetime, I believe that we must transcend these lower states of consciousness into something that's higher. And it starts with interrupting the pattern and then inserting it with a new thought of saying, no, I am love, I am joy, I am positive. There's tons of different ways that you can start to shift. If you want more guidance on how you can do this personally for your life based on your beliefs and what you're struggling with, happy to do one-on-one coaching I offer. So reach out on IG and, we can talk about that. But, just to give you some things that you can think about, there's tons of different ways that you can reprogram new belief systems, such as affirmations, such as visualization, such as scripting or journaling. The biggest key, though, however, is to make sure that you're feeling the emotion that you want to usher into your life, or you're feeling the emotion that you want to be the new pattern of success in your life. So if you're just affirming, I am love, I am worthy, I am joyful, or I am happy, or all these things, but you're not necessarily feeling the way that you're speaking, then it's not really penetrating and reprogramming your subconscious. So in order to reprogram and retrain your subconscious to have a new pattern of behavior, we must feel the emotion ahead of the experience. So then that way we can use that emotion as a catalyst for the strategy to which we get the experience. Does that make sense? So, we must feel whole, abundant, loving, joyful, and that feeling of a joy, abundant, loving, that feeling before you go get the house, before you go get the cars, before you go get the relationship, before you go get the family, by feeling those emotions before, now when you go get those things, you usher in those new feelings, or those higher states of consciousness. You usher in those new feelings with that experience. And now you've created a new pattern of behavior that says, oh, okay, I can go get these things feeling loving, feeling joyful, feeling happy, feeling kind, feeling peace, all these things, right? But why don't most people do this? Well, again, I think it's because we've had these other states work in the past, so we think these states are going to work in the future. But the truth of the matter is, we're going to get whatever we focus on regardless. You're going to get everything that you want, all your desires, all your wishes. And how you go get it, like how you feel through the journey of going to get it, is going to be a big part of how you feel after you have it. So in order to keep the hunger, keep the drive, keep the desire, keep the attitude alive, is to break the pattern, shift into a new pattern. And then as you do this, you start to flip the lens from yourself to others. And as you start to care about others, as you start to love others, as you start to, recognize where you can help others, you feel even more compelled in my experience, to action, and compelled to want to, create solutions, right? Like, this inspiration for this video came from these thoughts of, hey, I feel really good right now. I feel happy, I feel joyful, I feel loving, I feel fulfilled, I feel at peace. Let me go, share with my community on how they can transcend some of these lower states for themselves, right? So as you make this shift, be prepared and recognize that you'll, shift from a selfish state of mind, what can I get, what can I get, what can I get, to a more holistic, how can I serve, how can I serve, how can I serve? And this is not hurting you in the long run. This is actually making your experience better and will attract better things in your life. So don't take my word for it. Go test it for yourself. And, if there's moments where this is uncomfortable in the beginning and you feel like, man, I should be doing more, recognize that comes from those feelings of anger and desire, right? Like peace loves peace. And once you start to recondition that emotion into your body, again, through that process, if you give it some patience, if you become compassionate with yourself, through that process, I think you'll start to get new ideas, you'll start to get new patterns of behavior, new strategies to get what you want in a more smooth, loving, and joyful state of being, which is all good stuff. So if you like the video, comment what you want to see next. We talk about all things self-improvement, spirituality, mindset, entrepreneurship. So feel free to leave some ideas if you want to see something specific. Other than that, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.